Chrissy and Sissy. I would like to just stop, first of all, and just say thank you to you all for your prayers during the loss of my cousin. Thank you so much for thinking of me and my family during this time. Um, I am here today because I wanted to do an introduction of the quarter, of the new summer quarter. Just basically kind of just like tell you all what we're going to be talking about this entire quarter, and just to kind of encourage the teachers as well, just to kind of like brief them on everything that we're going to be getting into. This is our summer quarter 2020, and what we're going to be talking about is the many faces of wisdom. This quarter is all about wisdom. Please use this opportunity to spend some time with your class, just telling them about the differences between godly wisdom and worldly wisdom. Take a little time with them. Just set aside maybe some round table time, or some depending on what age group you're teaching. Like, you can do round table, you can do floor time. Just take some time with them to just kind of like engage and talk and communicate, and just be totally transparent with them. Let them know that there's a difference between being smart and being wise. And there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. You can have the knowledge of something. I can know something, but I may not have the wisdom on how to properly carry it out. Okay, so we just want to just take some time to talk to them, spend some time with them. We'll just try to come up with some creative techniques on how to get them to understand. One technique that we need to get together with our class, and I encourage our teachers out there to get with our class and just kind of like do like some comparison and contrasting with them on unwise decision and unwise decisions, on and letting them know that there are consequences for unwise decisions as well as wise decisions. But it's just like a difference in the consequence. For every action, there's a reaction. So for everything you do, there's a consequence, and it's up to you, well, it's up to us, if we're going to use wisdom and do the smart way, or if we're going to just not take the time to think it out and then suffer some bad consequences. Okay, it's kind of like punishment for your bad decisions and rewards for your good decisions. So that's kind of like a good little comparison and contrast activity that the teachers can do with their students this quarter. Just like a little comparison and contrast game. Make up a story about somebody, and it can go either way. Either that person in the story can make a wise decision, or that person in the story can make a bad decision. And just kind of like let your students be the one to finish the story, just so that they can kind of like understand where you're coming from with the wisdom, the many faces of wisdom. And in my creative place, when I heard the name, the many faces of wisdom, I immediately started to think about, how can I create something, or draw something, or get somebody else to create something that's really kind of like a face, because we're talking about the face of wisdom. So if I was to kind of like get a face, And then like the I would kind of be something like, one I would kind of be like consistency. Just being consistent in everything that we do is one benefit of um, wisdom. Consistency is one benefit of wisdom. Just consistently um, knowing right from wrong. That's like one benefit, one thing that we want to take with us. And then I thought about maybe like the other eye can be just keeping our faith in the right place. Let that be another eye. Then you would have your nose that maybe could be just like get it, your nose, staying out of trouble, keeping your nose out of other people's business, staying in your lane, handling what you need to handle to benefit you. A fourth benefit that's not highlighted at the beginning of our book, I think that our mouth would be truth. That would be the mouth. Telling the truth. Um, you know, that's wisdom. Honesty is a part of wisdom. So that's kind of like what I thought about in my creative place. But just to briefly go over the things that they're introducing in the beginning of the book, one thing is one of the scriptures that we're going to learn this quarter um, is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. Once again, I love Proverbs. Proverbs is just like the book of wisdom. Everything in there that you need about wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instructions. In Revelations chapter 1, verse 8, the Lord refers to himself as the Alpha and Omega, which means the beginning and the end. Thus, it should come as no surprise that wisdom begins and ends with God. The wisdom of God is to help us, going back and kind of like expounding on those benefits of wisdom. Like we said, that one eye would be consistency. Consistently knowing right from wrong. God's wisdom does not change, it remains consistent. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we have two, is keep our faith. Keep our faith in the right place, using both eyes to stay focused on what is right. And it says, when we study the word, we know that Jesus is both the author and the finisher of our faith. Hebrews 12:2. And so we are not swayed by false information that comes our way. Through wisdom, we can reject any knowledge that goes against the word. Okay, and then we said that um, the third benefit of wisdom, according to this book, and then we added one more, is stay out of trouble. We said that's going to be our nose. We're going to keep our nose out of other people's business. We're going to stay focused, and if we're not saying anything encouraging or uplifting to our brothers and sisters, then we're just going to learn to not say anything. So that's keeping our nose out of other people's business. And then our mouth was going to be truth, speaking the truth, honesty coming from our mouth. So staying out of trouble. Wise people consider the consequences of their actions and avoid doing things that can lead them down the wrong path. And then when we talked about truth, as far as our mouth is concerned, Our mouth is to only speak the things of the Lord, only the things that God will find pleasure in, only thing that He will take joy in. Yes, it's okay to laugh, play, and have a good time, but we have to remember that we're not going to say anything that's going to harm our brothers and sisters. I pray that you will decide to act wisely based on the Word of God. You will never have to regret doing what He tells you to do. You'll never have to regret doing what God tells you and leads you to do, because His wisdom comes with protection. And we know that we want to try to instill in them by the end of this quarter, we want them to know that God is the ultimate source of wisdom. Okay, so we just want to just kind of like just break that down to them and explain things to them. And I'm really looking forward to someone maybe putting something down in the description box, maybe like an idea of a craft or an idea of an activity that we can do with the children during this quarter to really drive this home. It is extremely important now, more than ever, that we take the time to be transparent with our children, even in this quarter. Use wisdom in being obedient to your parents, and as teachers, and that's another opportunity for us to be transparent and to let our children know, our students. I call my Sunday school class and my babies that I work with as a youth director. I'm a youth director and a Sunshine Band teacher. Sunday school teacher, youth director, Sunshine Band president. So I'm all of that. But I call them my babies. They're my babies. So take time to let your babies know that you are human. Let them see that human side of you. So kind of be like transparent with them and kind of like tell them like a story of a time in your childhood when you was disobedient to your parents and you didn't use wisdom, and how you would handle that differently now. Okay, so I kind of like, well, probably with my babies, I probably would say, what would the 50-year-old Chrissy say to the 8-year-old Chrissy? If she had an opportunity to go back and I could talk to the 8-year-old Chrissy, what words of wisdom would I give her that at that age she just didn't know? Okay, so just to recap our teaching tips from the end of last quarter, it was we as teachers of Sunday school have to remain encouraged, focused, and inspired to make a difference in another person's life, be it a child or adult. 1 Samuel 30:6. And then the one that we're going to focus on this quarter, our teacher tip for this quarter, and these come straight out of the International Sunday School lesson. It comes straight from there. Some of us will not have a mega Sunday school class as far as the number of people who will show up for class, but that should not be our focus. We should prepare and study just as diligently to teach 5 students as we would to teach 100. Remember to always pray for your Sunday school class and your participation. Your lesson, subject matter thoroughly. Do research, be prepared to teach. Don't let being right be your main objective, but be open-minded to entertain other perspectives as long as they are in line with the word. Be open to entertain other creative tactics, measures, activities, as long as they are in line with the word. Our lesson should be relevant, and interesting. We must be faithful to God and to the call of teaching. So teach your class as if your life depended on it. And it does, your eternal life. My thing is this. I take teaching my Sunday school babies so to heart and so personal, to where I literally understand that my babies are just little bitty saints. That's what I call them. You're just little bitty saints, just little bitty saved people. And I understand and I respect the fact that they have a soul. So I kind of like, from time to time, I kind of like get on my soapbox and I kind of get like extremely upset if things are not going the way that I think they should be going for them. And I feel like there's somebody else in the church that's kind of looking over them and they're not getting the recognition as a member. I'm like, do you not realize that these babies have souls? So I live my life intentionally. I live my life on purpose. I am saved all the time, and I have to be so careful in my everyday life, and I have to use wisdom. There it is again. Wisdom in my decisions that I make, because you never know. And in closing, Sunday school teachers, we never know which child is looking at us, and if we make the slightest slip, it could cost them their soul. So we have to just be so careful. We have to remain prayerful. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And please remember to follow us on all our social media sites, which will be at the bottom of the screen. And as always, Chrissy and Sissy loves you, and we really and truly appreciate your support. Thank you. Happy studying.